Among Us is a hidden role game created by Innersloth that, by all accounts, has captured the internet's attention. From the hundreds of thousands of people watching on Twitch, to the millions of views that these videos get on YouTube, it's easy to say that it has gained quite the following. Now, you can find videos out there talking about strategies and such, but what I have yet to find is a video talking about a different side of the game, a more social side. The side that makes you mad. If you haven't played Among Us before, then here's a brief overview. You can play with 5 to 10 players, but I would highly recommend 10-player games. If you don't have 9 more friends, then don't worry. You can just hop on a public server with some other random people. Now, when the game starts, you'll either be an imposter or a crewmate. If you're a crewmate, you can win through 2 different ways. By either finding out who the imposters are and killing them, or by having all the crewmates finish all their tasks. Now, if you're the imposter, you can win in one of 2 ways as well. By either killing all of the crewmates, or by sabotaging the oxygen or reactor. Though, the first option is usually how these games are won. The imposters can also lock the doors and turn off lights to make it harder for the crewmates to do tasks and survive. Now, knowing all this, I think you can already see where this could start to get frustrating. I'm going to split this video into 2 parts. How the game is frustrating for the imposters, and how the game is frustrating for the crewmates. To start us off, dying early in the round is torture. You can't interact with the game anymore, other than just finishing your tasks. So, dying early curses you to several minutes of doing essentially nothing. Now, that's not the only thing that can ruin a dead crewmate's day, however. There's nothing worse than being killed and seeing in painful detail how the imposter gets away with it. Now, from the ghost perspective, it's so obvious who the imposters are, but the still alive crewmates cannot trust anybody, causing a decent amount of distrust between the crewmates. Seemingly obvious kills often don't lead to the imposter being killed, simply because of distrust.
Okay,
There
we
was a
pretty much
dead
have
body
to,
right outside the light area. The light
we
room.
have to vote someone out now, I think.
Wait,
Or else
where
we're
was
just
it?
fucked.
Wait, how did I not see that?
Moral of the story,
So someone got Shinga trying to fix the lights.
ghosts are not the only ones who have it rough. As said before, usually crewmates cannot trust each other, so when you say something and nobody trusts what you say, it can be infuriating. Even worse, if you report a body, there can be a decent amount of suspicion put onto you, since the imposters, when they kill somebody, can also report the body. So, even if you're in completely fine intentions, you could very well be killed for just reporting the body. There are many tasks that the crewmates have to do. Well, some are more than easy. Many of these tasks can take quite a while. The wires task, for instance, takes a long time due to the fact that you have to visit 3 random points around the map. The download task takes a while, just because you have to sit there, watching a bar go up.
Bruh.
Finally, the sample task takes forever. You start the task, which doesn't take long at all, but then you have to wait a minute. Now, thankfully, it does allow you to close out of the menu and just go do other tasks or move around, and then come back after it to do another simple thing, but still, having to wait that long is infuriating. In a game all about movement, having to sit at one spot for several seconds is a death sentence, and honestly gets me really impatient, and I don't really consider myself to be too much of a impatient person. Now, I know a lot of you guys are thinking, oh wow, I can't believe you didn't bring up the card reader task. That one's so difficult. I mean, there's a point to be made. It can be really difficult. If you're a scrub. Let's talk about the imposters. Now to start, being an imposter requires a lot of skill and even more luck. So, sometimes you can have the best plan and still get caught with your pants down. Sometimes the crewmates get desperate. There's a few people left and they just have to take a risk and guess to vote someone out. Now, if you're an imposter on the other end of these random witch hunts, it can be exasperating because you're doing everything right, they just guessed and got lucky. That's not your fault. Now, these next examples are a bit different. They can be countered just by being really good at the game, but with me and my less than perfect skill, these often still get me. First off, cameras. There are cameras on the map's Polis and the Skeld. Now, they're scattered all across the map and we can look through using a terminal on each of these maps. Now, all players can see when somebody is looking through the cameras, but oftentimes I end up not noticing and screwing myself by killing a person while someone's watching me. Almost every game as imposter, you'll have to defend yourself, lest you be found out and voted off. Most of the time, you'll be asked what tasks you're doing. You might say things like wires or power distribution or such, but be careful. If you say that you were doing a second stage task without mentioning the first, you can get caught in a lie. However, this would never happen, unless you happen to be playing with an Among Us nerd. Actually, you couldn't have done that since that's a stage 2 task. And using Pythagorean's theorem, there's no way you could have done that and the first task before the body was found. It's not your fault, just a lack of game knowledge. Wow, you're still here. Well, hey, thanks for watching the video. I really appreciate it. A lot of the watch time statistics on my previous videos are less than perfect, but you know, I appreciate you watching. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe if you want. I don't know. Anyways, thanks.